Good afternoon. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio. We're your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, two different ways. We're syndicated, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundant TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. We have AP Steadham with us right now. I hear from everybody, you're the best sportscaster in the world.
Oh, well,
Well, I
thank
tell you
you.
what people like. They like because you're actually on location and your heart's really in it. I mean, you really like what you do. And it shows, AP.
Does it? Okay, yeah, we try to have a lot of fun, Don. We're very fortunate, and I try to think about other people. What would they be doing if they were here in my situation? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, so we try to ask those type of questions and be at those types of events. So my philosophy, really. I try to consider other people.
Mm-hmm. And just have to have fun at what you do. I think that just really shows. So now you've had a pretty busy week. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, Donna, we're getting ready for this basketball, these basketball events. We were watching the NFL Combine over the weekend, all the players up in Indianapolis, and this was the end of the SEC for the men and the women. The women actually had their tournament down. So Tennessee made a strong run, the Tennessee women, and they ended up losing to South Carolina in the championship, but that bodes well for them as they approach the NCAA tournament. So the Tennessee women coming on strong. They beat LSU, the number 2 team. They were down, I think, I think it was 17 points, something like that. They came all the way back and beat LSU. So that might be Kelly Harper's maybe best victory since she's been a coach at Tennessee, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Beat LSU, who only had the one other loss, I believe, to South Carolina. So the SEC is strong in the women's basketball, Tennessee, LSU, South Carolina. So that'll be interesting for those teams as they get into the tournament. Now the men's team ended their regular season. Auburn down. Let's start with them because they played Tennessee, one of the couple of teams we follow, those two teams. Auburn, that was good that they had the win against Tennessee on Saturday because they were the projected number 11 seed, which is really kind of on the cusp of making the tournament down because they have I think it's, let me see, 36 teams are at large, and Auburn was, of course, one of the at large teams. And they have all these regular season champions, the automatic qualifiers. So Auburn was right there, just wavering around the going to be in the tournament, not be in the tournament. So that was big for them to beat Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's going to get into the tournament, so it didn't matter to them. Of course, you don't want to lose a game at the end of the season, but it was great for Auburn to win that game. So
Mm-hmm.
Auburn should be in the tournament. They start the SEC tournament this week in Nashville. Auburn is a number, let me see, I think I'm looking at my sheet here, Donna. Auburn is going to be a number 7 seed. They'll play number 10 seed Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then Tennessee is going to be a number 5 seed, and they play the winner of the South Carolina, which is number 12, and Ole Miss number 13. So that's how the seeding works out in the SEC tournament. Alabama's number 1 seed. They play the winner of University of Florida, who's the number 8, and Mississippi State, who's the number 9. And that'll be on Friday. So, but I don't think the tournament means too much to the top level teams. Kentucky, Donna, I mean, they're the blue blood team of basketball in the SEC. John Calipari, the coach, he does not like playing in that tournament. So if the coach makes that statement, I don't think you motivate your team. You don't like playing in that tournament, the SEC tournament. He's ready to get to the NCAA tournament, big dance. This is the dance going to the big dance.
Mm-hmm. It's all about motivation. I mean, you got to say the right things.
Yeah, so I mean, I would prefer that he doesn't say those things. Keep it to himself, I would say. If I'm a Kentucky fan, I don't want my coach saying I don't want to be here in Nashville at this tournament.
You know what that reminds me of? I used to be in the cell phone business a long time. I worked corporate with GTE, and I remember there was a guy who was having a hard time making sales. He couldn't land the accounts for anything, but he didn't use a whole lot of common sense. So I watched him, and it was I was sent out to watch him and kind of give him some tips, And so we came back from the sales call, and I said, you know what? Nobody's going to buy from you with your attitude. And he said, but I thought I had a good attitude. And I said, you got a good attitude. You're smiling. I said, but you're kind of walking in saying, you don't want to buy cell phones, do you? He kind of had that kind of an attitude. And I said, you're never going to sell them. If you act like that. But you're right. It's all about contact. It's all about how you talk to people.
Yeah, I mean, you want your team playing good basketball. I don't care if it's a scrimmage game. You want your team playing top level basketball. I mean, because it'll improve you to get ready for the big dance. If your team is playing good defense, they're hustling, they're rebounding, they're shooting the high percentage for free throws, they're making the 3-point shots, they're making the shots inside. I mean, all those little things count. You're passing the ball to the open player who can score. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't want to be here. I want to be here. I want to. Anytime we suit up, we want to win. That's my attitude because
That's
they're
true.
young. They're not going to get. You might be tired as the coach. You might be tired. It's a long season, but these players are 18 to 22, 23 years old. They're not going to get tired. They have plenty of time in between games. Now this tournament, the FCC tournament, you do play back-to-back games. I mean, if you have a bye, you start on Friday. Some of the teams are playing now on Wednesday. Then teams playing Thursday. But some teams don't have to play until Friday, so you have to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday to win. But hey, you have 3 or 4 days to relax, and then you're ready for the NCAA tournament. The selection Sunday, Donna, will be next Sunday on the 12th of March. So they'll pick that 68 field team, a 68 field of teams, and 4 teams. I think it's four. Is it 4 teams or 8 teams? 8 teams might have to play in Dayton on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Those are called playing games, and that fills out the 64. I think that's the way that works, something like that. So, but one of the regional finals is in Louisville, one's in New York, one's in Las Vegas, one's in Kansas City. But the first couple rounds, we're looking forward to seeing probably Alabama and Birmingham. I think Auburn might get to Birmingham as well. They might put Auburn in Birmingham, so which would be great for the crowd. Um, they might
Well,
put
we
Alabama
will.
in all different regions. In other words, you can have the Louisville region in Birmingham, and also let's say the Kansas City region. They're going to have 8 teams there, so you could have 2 different regions in the first and second round in Birmingham, even though they're going different directions after Birmingham. Yeah.
What do you think gave Auburn the boost?
Well, I think playing at home helps them. They did play very well against Alabama last week. That game was on Wednesday evening. They had a pretty hot shooting game from the 3-point line. I believe it was 60%. They just fell short. It was an overtime game. That was a lot of points for Auburn, 85 and 90 for Alabama. That was a hard-fought game. They had a big lead over Alabama. They couldn't hold on to it. But Alabama's pretty tough at home, and but Auburn played a good game. So I was concerned if they could put together another offensive performance that would help them beat Tennessee. Now Tennessee is without one of their players, a point guard. He injured his knee, so he's going to be out. But Auburn needed that victory, I think, to cement their choice for the NCAA tournament. So that was a great victory for them. It was the last game of the season at home, so that's fun for them.
And that'll kind of boost their attitude. And I mean, attitude's everything too. There's
Yeah.
so many variants, though. We say attitude is training. I mean, everything is important.
Yes. Yeah. So Auburn, like I said, if they send them to Birmingham, let's say as an 8 seed or a 9 seed, that means down the winner of the 8-9 game, the next game you're playing the number 1 seed in that region. But if Auburn is able to win that game and they place them in Birmingham, you're going to be playing the number 1 seed of a region in Birmingham. You're going to have the home crowd. So that could be quite interesting for
Mm-hmm.
Auburn. It make for a really better season.
Mm-hmm. I think so too, because of their fans and the support, they're all there. So that's important too. And I'm like you. I mean, it can just, it can happen because of so many variants.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Auburn gets that 8 or 9 seed and they put them in Birmingham. That would be the best situation to play 2 games. Play to start the tournament in Birmingham. Yeah.
Well, what kind of skills do they need to work on to make it happen as well?
Well, I think Auburn, they have to be selective with their shots, Don, because they have trouble scoring some games. So if they can be selective with their shots, Bruce Pearl is always preaching defense and rebounds. Defense and rebounds. They have to watch out on the fouls, get everybody healthy as the best they can, and they're going to have the crowd behind them if they're in Birmingham. Play tough defense and rebound, and you just have to get through that first game. Don't care how, you don't care how it happens. Just win that first game. I always like for a team. This is my preference. I like for a team not to shoot as well and win that first game, because the next game, more than likely, they'll shoot better, and they're playing a much more complete team, a more competitive team. So you're going to need to make more shots.
Well, do you think they're not as tired on that second? If they actually go by what you just said, they're not quite as tired either, are they?
Well, yeah, they're going to have a day in between games. Those games in Birmingham, I think, are Thursday, Saturday. I believe that's the schedule. So if they can get through the first game, and like I said, hopefully the percentage is on the lower side, because I think the next game they'll probably shoot better. And they need to, because they'll be playing possibly the number one seed. More than likely the number one seed, because the number one seed down, they play the 16th seeded team in that bracket. There's 4 brackets after those games in Dayton. It's 16, 16, 16, 16, which is 64. So the 1 plays the 16. I think that's only happened once, where the 16 beat the 1. I believe that's the case. And in the men's side. Women's side, it's happened more than once, I think. But so that's what I would hope for if I'm Auburn. Get through the first game. If we shoot a low percentage, don't worry. Just win the game. Maybe you make a lot of free throws. Maybe you win it on a last-second shot. And then that next game, you're going to have to shoot your best. Because, Donna, and I just like to state this for the record, I say this all the time when I speak about the game of basketball. The essence of basketball is putting the ball in the basket. You could play good defense. You can rebound. You can pass the ball very well, but the ball must go in the basket, because it's not like football where you can hold somebody to a lower score, which you can defensively, but they're going to score. You have to put the ball in the basket, and that's going to solve a lot of your problem. That means the free throws. That means you want to make a high percentage of layups close to the basket. You want to make some 3-pointers and some mid-range shots if you're attempting those mid-range shots. But basketball, put the ball in the basket. When you're watching all these games, Don, the announcers are saying all these things. Well, the other team's rebounding well. They're playing good. Is the ball going in the basket for the team you're pulling for? That's what matters.
You know what this reminds me? Did you ever watch the movie Indiana Jones, like the first one that came out?
Right.
And so there's this, this guy's doing all these little fancy moves with his knife and all this kind of stuff.
Yes.
And then the main character just turns around. That's going to walk away, and then he turns around and just gets his gun and goes.
Yeah, well, that's in essence, right. All these other things. Yeah, go ahead now. Go ahead.
Do your fancy stuff, but it goes in the basket. That's
it.
We've got to go into a commercial break. I mean, I can't believe how time flies. Let's go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a minute. Y'all hang tight, okay? More interesting stuff.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support. With everything going on right now, your rest is so important. That's why we're having the biggest MyPillow sale ever. Not only are my bed pillows as low as $19.98, but you can get the best body pillows ever. Regular $89.98, now only $29.98. Take your rest on the go with our Roll and Go Anywhere MyPillows for only $14.98. And we have our new couch and accent pillows. They aren't just for looks. They have MyPillow's patented adjustable fill that gives you that amazing MyPillow comfort. In this economy, you get the best gifts ever for the best prices ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you get deep discounts on body, couch, bolster pillows, and so much more, including my original bed pillows for as low as $19.98. Please order now while quantities last.
Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Okay, we are back. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio. You can find us on television. We are syndicated. You can find us on channel 182. That's Charter Communications. That's in North Alabama. You can also find us syndicated on Abundant TV, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. We're talking with AP Steadham, and he is a talk show host, a sports enthusiast. Wow, I really like your interviews, by the way. They're really good. You and Kelly are good.
Oh, thank you, Don. Thank you so much. My style is I try to ask the question as efficiently as I can, and then I just make a stage right exit, and the person, they have the lights in the audience, and I let them, elaborate on their answer. And this week we had Martin Newton. He's the athletic director of Stanford University, and Martin actually is on the NCAA Division I men's basketball selection committee. So he's one of the people, I think it's 12, picking the 68 teams down for the men. And what's really interesting is his dad, C.M. Newton, the legendary C.M. Newton, he was the chairman of that committee at one point, and he was the great coach at Alabama, and he coached at Vanderbilt, and he early in his career coached at Transylvania, which is in Lexington. He was a reserve basketball player at the University of Kentucky under Adolph Rupp, and then he became the athletic director at University of Kentucky. But Martin gave a great interview about the selection committee, and he spoke about his dad, and we had a lot of fun speaking with Martin, because that's a great honor. He on the committee that picks the 68 teams. And here he is right there in Birmingham, Alabama.
There you go. We're proud of that. Absolutely.
That's,
So what's in store for you this coming week? I know you're on our station, Football Friday at 4. Now that's 4 p.m. Central. We had somebody who said, I'm not finding it. I didn't find it. And it's Central time. They were looking at Eastern time.
Right, yeah, 4 p.m. Central, right. Yeah, so this week, Donna, I'm going to watch the basketball tournament from Nashville, the SEC men's tournament. I'll be looking around the other teams. And then, Donna, a couple weeks from now, I think it's I can't remember the date. The Final Four will be in Houston, Texas. So one of those days when we do the interview, I'm going to be doing the interview on the championship day from Houston, Texas. She'll be speaking to me from
Awesome.
the Final Four. So that'll be cool. So I'm looking forward to covering the Final Four. You'd like to see an SEC team make the Final Four. I'm hoping, the three teams we talk about the most, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee. Let's hope for one of those three. But if it's another SEC team, that's great too for the conference. But they're going to have, I think, in the neighborhood of 6 or 7 teams make the tournament, the SEC, Southeastern Conference. So they're going to have their chance. And Donna, really, essentially, it's really 2 games for 3 straight weekends. That's what is needed to win the entire tournament, 6 games. So if you can look at it as, all right, we're going to a tournament this weekend, we need to win 2 games to get to the next weekend. If you can view it from that standpoint, I think mentally, your mind can embrace that journey.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Phil, is from Houston. Spring, just right up above Houston. It's a suburb of that area. Oh, I love Houston. We almost moved there. And people are so friendly out there. But something, when you're there, you're going to have to wear a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, because everybody does. Everyone wears cowboy hat, cowboy boots.
Have to find one. Yeah. So Houston, the game is going to be played down at the football stadium. Well, probably, I guess, in the neighborhood of 60,000 people at the game. And the old Donna, did you ever visit the old Astrodome? I never did make it there myself.
Never got out there.
I never did. Probably Phil's probably been there, but I never have. I never did make it to that venue. But that was the home of one of the most famous basketball games of all time. It was UCLA, who had Lou Alcindor at the time. He became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But UCLA played Houston January 20th, 1968. That game was televised on a Saturday night all across the country on all these independent stations. And they had over 50,000 people. And Houston upset UCLA by, I think it was a couple points, 71-69. Alvin Hayes was the great star for Houston, and he scored 38 points. And that changed the face of basketball, Donna. That game, they realized that it's popular all over the country. And really brought to the forefront, I think, of the announcer. His name was Dick Enberg, because UCLA athletic director Ducky Drake, I believe his name, when he made the contract with the independent producer of the game, he asked him, hey, do you have a broadcaster for the game? He said, no, would you mind if we use our broadcaster, the local UCLA? And it was Dick Enberg at the time, who became such a fabulous broadcaster, baseball, football, basketball. He was the announcer. And Donna, people don't know the other announcer for the game, the color analyst, was the great legendary LSU player Bob Pettit.
Wow, I didn't know that.
The game. Yeah, so I remember watching the game, but I remember it was Dick Enberg, but I don't remember it was Bob Pettit. I had a chance to interview him years later at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, but he's still in the same great shape. He was 6'10", 220 pounds. He was 80 years old, Donna. He was still in playing shape, 220, 225. But anyway, to get back to Houston, I'd like to see Houston get into the Final Four. Have to have the home team. That would be fun.
Well, it'd be fun if you get to see Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson is from Houston. and he started out as a DJ, and he used to be really clean cut, nothing
Right.
like he looks now. I mean, he was, hair
No,
all fixed and the whole works.
yeah,
So
right.
maybe
No,
we'll see Willie Nelson out there.
yeah, I met him. I met him at least one time, Don. He was really, really nice. Very nice gentleman. I
Uh-huh,
really enjoyed. I met his sister, Bobby. Bobby plays the piano. Bobby Nelson. That's his
uh-huh.
sister, and I've seen him half a dozen times. I always enjoyed his music.
That's another person just has fun with what he does. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
work
I
hard
mean,
at all.
he's got to be. Is he 85? How old? He's got to be
Gotta
85.
be.
It's got to be.
I'm gonna tell you something. I think in his case, doing drugs actually pickled his system. I think that's I think so. I think
He
it actually helped him.
yeah, he's
Don't
still
do
on the road.
drugs though.
Yeah, I think he's still on the road performing. I
Oh,
think.
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I saw an interesting Barbara Walters interviewed him once, and he's been around her. I mean, he really has. He was talking about his first wife, and his first wife got fed up with him, because he'd go out, come home drunk, and all this kind of stuff. And he was actually laughing about this. He said, "I'll tell you what she did to me." He said he just passed out on the bed. So she turns the sheets and wraps him up in the sheets and hand sews him inside the sheet and got a broom and just started just beating the heck out of him. And so Barbara Walters says, "Oh my goodness, did you think about suing her?" And he said, "Nah." He said, "I deserved it." He said, "I was just,
Right.
his attitude is just really out there, I'm telling you."
Yeah.
But he was a lot of fun. I hope you get to see him.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I know, he was a great friend of Darrell Royal, the University of Texas football coach.
Mhm.
They were golf buddies. That was an unusual combination, right? It was
Uh-huh.
just Darrell Royal had that clean cut, all American look, and Willie Nelson, and but they were great friends.
Yeah, it
So,
was like Julio Iglesias, they sang the song "To All the Women I Loved Before," so I forgot what the name of that was, and that was a weird combination.
oh yeah, but that makes life interesting. I remember, yeah, one of my favorite broadcasters was Dick Shapp, and he would get different people together. I remember one time it was the he was the host of the Joe Namath show, Joe Namath football.
Mhm.
So one time he had on Truman Capote, okay,
Oh, wow.
who's a character, and then he
Uh-huh.
had Razzi Graziano, the boxer. I mean, a guy from the streets and a literary figure, and he had them on the same show. You talk about two opposites.
That made it interesting. I'm
Oh,
absolutely sure.
yeah, it was funny.
Well, that's
It was funny.
about a minute and a half left in this segment. What would you like to tell the folks before you go?
Yeah, I'd like to see Alabama or Auburn or Tennessee win the SEC
Me too.
championship. I bet if somebody else wins, that's fine too. But I'd like to see Auburn, Alabama, and Tennessee playing good basketball, even if they lose a close game, to just have a mindset of where, okay, we lost the game, but we played well. We're entering the NCAA tournament. Let's see if we can make some noise. Let's see if we can win some games and have a chance to get to the Final Four in Houston, Texas. I'm hoping that Alabama, they're going to send them to Birmingham. I'm pretty confident there. I'm hoping that they send them to the Louisville region and not New York or Las Vegas or Kansas City. Not that those are places I wouldn't want to visit, but just Louisville's slightly closer, and possibly I'll have a chance to be there. If not, I'll be in Houston. I'm looking forward to being in Houston.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, AP, for being on the show. And Football Friday at 4 right here at this station, IC radio station. Again, you and Kelly are doing an awesome job.
Hey, thank you. 4 p.m. Central, IC Radio on every Friday, Football Friday. Thank you, Donna.
There you go. Well, thank you. And you have a good one. And you have a good one. Thank you so much for watching us. We definitely appreciate it. We'll see you in just a few minutes with another awesome guest. Bye, AP.
Bye-bye now.